Hi guys, Skypoint here, and I have more Kyriss action for you today. In fact, as you can see, Kyriss has taken me past 3000 ranking finally, and my win rate with Kyriss is now up to 57%. Alright, so the deck which I'm using in all three of the matches you'll be seeing today is this one here. It's pretty much the same as I've been using in the last couple of videos. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the action for today. We start with a fight against Kabanda. Normally a very tough fight because Kyriss only has 30 health and Kabanda of course does 3 damage with each of his attacks. Now I put away my expensive cards, I kept Unspoiled Land, and I got a Slayer of Worlds, which is always useful to have. So let's start by playing Unspoiled Lands, and what do I get? Okay, good, I get a pair of Demon Brutes out of that. So I just use my 1 point of energy to attack him and stop myself from taking any damage. Now this is not good. He's put out some Plague Toads, which would normally start spreading and become a real problem for Kyriss. But luckily I have Informant Network, so I can play that to do 1 point of damage to the Plague Toads, and then hit them myself to create a Warp Rift. That should buy me more time because Kabanda will probably try to hit the Warp Rift. Yep, there we go. Alright, what do I do next here? I am going to go ahead and drop Ekra for now, try and get some heals going. Use 1 point of damage to hit the demons so that they will die when they attack me. There we go. It's not good. I'm 14 points of health behind him. In fact, more than that now. I'm 15 points of health behind him. Of course, I started 10 points behind. Let's drop these Chaos Cultists, or are they Chaos Sorcerers? Cultist Sorcerers, there we go. Heal myself a bit and use my energy to hit him. So now I'm still 11 points behind him. He uses Seek and Destroy to wipe out my cultist and create a mutation card for himself, pretty much as expected. And he hits me again, back to being 12 points behind him on health. Alright, what are we going to do here? Let's bring out the Demon Brutes, and good, with Stupefying Musk they'll be hard to kill, and heal myself up again. So 9 points of health behind him. Back to Kabanda's turn, 3 damage. He drops another one of his Hellhounds. And he uses a mutation to make them do bonus damage, and he's going after me hard. Alright. He hits me again. Alright, so what I can do here is use my Demon Brutes to take out the Hellhounds. Let's also drop a Herald of Slaanesh first. Demon Brutes to take them out. Now, I mess up the next part. I should have used Kyriss' ability first and then attacked with Ekra so that he didn't get a free mutation. But oh well, you can't have everything. Okay, so now he's got a Monster of Pythos out. And let's take a look what I can do. Let's reveal that Monster of Pythos. There he is. We can now drop a new Demon Brute with Molten Blood and hit him with the other Demon Brute to wipe out the monster. This is getting better. I'm now 8 points of health behind him, so I'm slowly catching up. Alright, he drops a Slaanesh Demonettes. Lots of stealth units here. He's giving them a mutation. What's he giving them? Is that Molten Blood? Yeah, he gives them Molten Blood. And he's giving them bonus attack, Cleansing Talon. So that's going to finish me off next turn, everything he has. What can I do here? Well, these guys have... Well, let's first of all drop a Slayer of Worlds. That's a good idea. And... Alright, this is going to allow me to win if I can wipe out his board. Now look at this. My Molten Blood hits him, which triggers his Molten Blood, which triggers my Molten Blood, which triggers his Molten Blood, which triggered my Molten Blood, so he wiped out his board. If he didn't put Molten Blood on his guys, he would have won the next turn, despite my Bloodthirsters. So he's dumping out the remaining demons, but he knows he can't win, and that's it. It's over. That was a Molten Blood chain reaction over there. It was actually really lucky that he had that, because without Molten Blood, like just bouncing back and forward between our two demons like that, he would have had enough damage to be able to wipe me out the next turn. Next up was an interesting little fight against Nakota Shuriken. So again, I'm keeping the Slayer of Worlds in hand to start with. I'm putting away a few of the other cards because I'm trying to get a Plague Toad. No Plague Toad, but alright, I can work with this. Oh great, he's got invisible sentencing boys already. Alright, nothing for this. Unspoiled land. And he gets me a Tide of Magnus, nothing at all. Okay, 1 point of energy to hit Nakota. Comes back to his turn, no surprise, he sentences me, but the surprise is that he actually attacked me. Usually Shuriken players go invisible in their first turn, just to have their ability loaded. Let's drop a Cultist Sorcerer now. Hopefully he's going to go after these guys. He did, but not in the way that I hoped. He's got the jet bikes out. Now of course, because they have sneak attack, they can destroy anything I put without taking damage. So I've got no option here. I have to attack them with my face. So let's drop some blood letters and attack them. This is bad. I've lost 7 points of health. My opponent has only lost 3. So I'm now 11 points behind him. Okay, great. He's got the Raven's Talons. And now he can attack me without taking any damage back. 12 points behind him. He didn't go after my units though, which felt like a mistake. Let's drop a free Plague Toad. So now he has to choose. Does he easily take out the Warp Rift, or does he easily take out the Plague Toad? And even that Plague Toad is starting to look a little bit nasty now. Oh, no, he has a cure here. He's using the Jet Bikes to take out the Plague Toad. And okay, he was, I think, hoping that 1 point of damage would ping the blood letters. Now he attacks him with the Warlord, who has sneak attack. That buffs the rest of my units, which is nice, but doesn't do much for me. My demons are getting cheaper, so let's bring out Rhea the Seducer. Bring his attack down to 0. Now I'll hit the second jet bike, which is a bit risky. I was quite far behind him on health, but now after my demon is attacking him and taking no damage in return, things are looking better. And he's got to focus down Rhea now. So as long as Rhea's on the board, his Warlord is kind of useless. He does go invisible, which buys him a little bit of time. Alright. Let's drop a Beast of Fire for now. And I give Rhea Molten Blood. So every time Rhea takes damage, his units take damage. And then I use Kyriss' ability on Rhea to start triggering that. Because I'm trying to wipe out at least one of his invisible troops. Oh, he put Sentence on it and then attacked it. So it took 2 separate points of damage, which triggered Molten Blood twice, which wiped out his troops. He plays Deliverance to gain stealth and a little bit of healing. But unfortunately for him, all that death appears to have drawn the attention of a free Slayer of Worlds. So let's go ahead and drop Tides of Madness on that. And now when he uncloaks, he is going to be a little bit vulnerable. And there's Ekratrez. So he thought about trying to stretch this out, and at this point he realized with 2 Slayer of Worlds on the board. Actually no, he didn't. Sorry, I thought he quit. Instead I can just oh yeah, sorry, again the replay sort of paused at this point. He actually quit the game when this happened, and before I was able to finish him off with the 2 Bloodthirsters. That was a nice little interesting match. Everything was going for him at the start, and then the demons turned it around. The final match for today's video was what I thought an interesting fight against Raum. So let's put away my expensive cards to begin with, keep the Plague Toad. Alright. So the problem I have is if I play the Plague Toad in turn 1, Raum can just kill it very easily. If I play the Cultist Sorcerer in turn 2, Raum can kill it very easily. I need to play them both together in turn 4, so he has to start making choices. Oh, there's another Plague Toad. Interesting. So I can actually drop both Plague Toads now, which makes things a little bit harder for him, and use an unspoiled land to try and pull out another demon, and I got a pair of demon brutes. Okay, this is going a bit better. Unsurprisingly, Ram tries to wipe out the toad infestation. It's also a useful source of healing for himself, and he brings in his own Chaos Sorcerer. Alright, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to drop my Chaos Sorcerer. I'm going to weaken the Cultist Sorcerer and attack it. Now he is in a bit of a pickle. So he drops another Cultist Sorcerer now, and he goes ahead and kills my one. My toads replicates again. There we go. And I can pretty much repeat my last turn again. So bring in a Plague Ridden this time. And that copies my toad, so I can drop it out again. There we go. And now I can attack his Cultist Sorcerer and create another Warp Rift. So now he has to choose Toad or Warp Rift, but he can't kill both toads. Oh, wait, can he? So much for that. Drops a Satellite Strike. Okay, good. He didn't kill both toads. He took out the Warp Rifts, though. Luckily, my toads keep getting copied, so that works out quite nicely. Alright, let's do this. We are going to bring another Plague Toad in. Then we're going to drop the Bloodletters and use my ability on the Bloodletters. So that damages them, which boosts the stats on all my units. And I can just keep throwing out Plague Toads all day long like this. Alright. And so now he's using Seek and Destroy. He's really trying to get the toads under control, I guess. Unfortunately, the more toads he kills, the more it just gets copied into my hand. There we go, 2 more toads. The Word Singer. Interesting now. Alright, so I could have dropped more toads, but instead I'm going to drop Rhea the Seducer, kill his Word Singer, which buffs all my troops. And now I can just keep hitting him. And at this point he realizes that his situation is really dire. So, there we go, and he quit. So that match sort of came back to that moment when I had a Cultist Sorcerer, a Plague Toad, and a Warp Rift on the board. What's the right thing to take out? Well, maybe there's no right answer in that situation, but that Warp Rift ended up making that Rhea the Seducer cheap enough that I could play it earlier in the game than normal, and he had no way of dealing with it at that point. Alright, so I hope you guys had a bit of fun watching more of Kyriss in action. Honestly, I was planning on switching to other warlords later in the month, but I think it's just going to be pretty much Kyriss on the ladder the whole month long. Alright, so I probably won't have a chance to make another video. Actually, you know what, maybe I will. I'll try and make more videos, but if I don't put anything else out this week, I will definitely be doing a couple of videos on Friday morning where I'm going to be going through all of the White Scars and cards, and then also showing you their pre-constructed deck in action. So, until then, bye for now everyone.